Yeah, the 5070 is more powerful than the PS5 Pro. You happy? Good. Now let me explain why the PS5 Pro is still the better option for someone who just wants to play games. Not a PC gamer, not a PlayStation fanboy, none of that dramatic nonsense. This is just about what actually makes sense for your money. Before you go nuts in the comments, let me give you some quick context.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and yeah, normally I don't make a follow video like this, but yeah, the PlayStation scam is a lot worse than I actually thought of. Properly, logs are completely messed up, combat sometimes won't start even if you're standing in front of guys. No widescreen support, no mouse cursor on the main menu. TLDR, one of the worst ports on the PC I've ever seen, even by Square standards. So the shaders are all calculated and do ship with the actual game on the disc. It makes me not want to play the game again. Sometimes it makes me want to uninstall the game. I want to throw my goddamn computer out the window whenever that happens. And honestly, this game has annoyed me so much with this one particular bug.
Typically deliver more temporally stable results. The brief snippets of Ratchet and Clank that we have appear to exhibit a similar problem, suggesting that this may be a characteristic weakness of the current version of PSSR. Overall, I think image quality is similarly good between the two consoles, although they do look fairly different. The Pro definitely gives you greater image detail, but it comes at the cost of more temporal instability. But the fact that we're getting comparable visuals at twice the frame rate really speaks to the promise of PSSR and of the Pro more generally. This is basically exactly as Mark Cerny claimed. The Pro provides the high-quality graphics that the PS5 is capable of at 30 FPS, but at the higher frame rates that gamers typically prefer. That very effective use of PSSR here, though, does make you wonder a bit about the possibilities for mode selection on PS5 Pro.
Bruh. Let's just get out of here. What are those? To the fence! Keep going! Find a way out of here!
Traditional method.
It's busted.
Yeah, game different.
Hey, you seeing this?
The timing on that comment was impeccable. Has it crashed? Unbelievable. Should we try once more?
Oh boy, do I, Rich. There are some huge improvements here now on a good screen. That is for sure. And if you're not on a VR screen, you just get 60 FPS, right? Now, PSSR though, my goodness, it completely changes the image and it just resolves so much more detail and cleans up so much noise, and it winds up massively improving the visuals overall, I would say. In what was a somewhat dirty looking game at times, it makes it look super smooth and clean, and it is a gigantic leap. It's probably the best implementation I've seen yet, just in terms of improving overall image quality maybe, and stability. Stability is key. It's temporally stable now, whereas before it was not.
I've been following Nvidia's 50 series rumors for almost a year now. I've made plenty of videos on why the PS5 Pro is a better deal than a gaming PC, and I've proven that point over and over. And yeah, I got dragged through the mud for it, but now the PS5 Pro reviews are out. My subscribers have bought it. At this point, I basically own a PlayStation 4, a PlayStation 5, and a PlayStation 5 Pro. Oh, and look, I was actually kind of hyped for the 50 series too. I was really hoping for a good MSRP, something that actually made sense. But the way Nvidia twisted everything, even in their own presentation, yeah, that killed any excitement real fast. They straight up claimed the 5070 is as powerful as a 4090, said it was going to be around 570, but when you actually look closer, it's got 12 gigs of VRAM, and every demo they showed was carefully set up. 4x DLSS fake frames, all the usual tricks to make it look better than it really is. Not only did they piss off the entire community, but they also managed to insult 4090 owners in the process. So yeah, if you were expecting a great mid-range GPU this generation, you might want to reconsider. On top of that, I've been working closely with my brother and his 4090 testing PS5 ports and a bunch of other games, including Monster Hunter Wilds, which I already warned you about. That game doesn't look great even on a 4090. I also covered Spider-Man 2's PC release. There's plenty of content I could go over, but I'm not going to sit here and repeat myself for the 5th time. time. If you want to check out those videos, go for it. And yeah, looking back, I was an idiot, arguing in the comments with people who clearly didn't know what they were talking about. Or worse, didn't even watch the videos. So today, I just want to do what I do best, speak the truth and help you make smarter buying decisions. If you're an Nvidia fan and you want to grab a 5070 Ti or a 5080, go for it. I'm not here to stop you or call you an idiot. If you're considering the base 5070, I'd say maybe think twice. And if you're on a 30 series or even a 20 series and you don't like all the DLSS upscaling stuff, maybe look at a used 4070 or 4080 instead. You'll probably find better deals. Or hey, maybe by the end of this video, you'll just want to grab a PS5 Pro. All right, I think we've covered enough context. Let's get into it.
Irritated. Just like all of you, I'm sure. I'm actually going to be violating my NDA a little bit in this video. Don't know what's going to come of that. I'll be honest, I kind of don't care at this point. 5070 Ti pricing has kind of been shown early. Micro Center has it all up on their site. I want to talk about the pricing. I want to talk about things to consider if you're going to try and go and stand in line. I guess you'd already be standing in line at this point if you're going to try and get one. Yeah, it's just a big show, so.
All right, so Jay is just done, like completely fed up. And honestly, it's kind of hard to blame him. Right off the bat, he admits he might be stepping over the line with his NDA, maybe even breaking it. But at this point, he doesn't care. The whole RTX 5070 Ti situation is a mess, and he's just as frustrated as everyone else. So here's what's going on. Nvidia set the MSRP for the RTX 5070 Ti at $750, but that price only applies to a handful of cards, the ones they sent to reviewers. When you actually check places like Micro Center, most 5070 Ti models are listed way higher. Some are pushing 1,000 or more. And since there's no Founders Edition to set a baseline price board, partners like Asus Gigabyte and MSI can basically charge whatever they feel like. Jay even shows the exact card Nvidia sent him, the Asus RTX 5070 Ti Prime, which was supposed to be one of those MSRP models. But when he checked Micro Center's website, that same card was listed at $899. That's a full $150 more than what he was told. So now he's stuck in this weird situation where Nvidia gave him a card under the premise that it's a $750 product, but in reality, it's selling for much more. And that raises a pretty big question. Who's actually responsible for this mess? There are a few ways this could have played out. Maybe Nvidia and Asus are in on it together, claiming the card is $750 just to meet review guidelines while knowing full well it'll actually sell for more. Maybe it's the retailers like Micro Center marking up prices because of demand and limited supply. Or maybe, just maybe, the card was never really supposed to be $750 in the first place, and Nvidia just told reviewers that to make the launch look better. Either way, it's not a good look. And the worst part is that this isn't new. Nvidia and its partners have been pulling these kinds of pricing tricks for years. Jay then breaks down how pricing works in this industry. There's MSRP, which is what Nvidia sets, in this case $750. Then there's MAP, which is the lowest price a retailer is allowed to advertise, but they can technically sell it for less if they want. And finally, there's SRP, which board partners like Asus set for their custom models. The problem? There's no real fair pricing for consumers, just a bunch of companies looking out for their own profits. And yeah, the 5070 Ti is a strong card. Jay says it performs somewhere around an RTX 4080 or 4080 Super, which is solid. But at these prices, he flat out says he wouldn't recommend buying one right now. If these inflated prices stick, that becomes the new normal. Once prices go up, they don't usually come back down. And that's how PC gaming slowly turned into a hobby for people with way too much money to burn. Jay's been covering this industry for over a decade, and he says this is one of the most frustrating launches he's ever seen. So the real question is, if Nvidia and its partners keep doing this, are people just gonna roll with it? All right, to wrap this up, I want to share some thoughts from my subscribers. A lot of people in the comments have been talking about why they switched from gaming PCs to the PS5 Pro, and honestly, their reasons make a lot of sense. Here's what some of them had to say. I've been a PC gamer my whole life, and I'm now 47. My system costs around $4,000, and I use it for YouTube and Twitch, but I play 90% of my games on a PS5 simply because I'm tired of drivers updating, tweaking, and eventually something crashing, or it's not optimized well enough. This is the last gaming PC I'll ever buy. And TBH, you hit every major concern spot on when it comes to the PC Master Race debate. It's over, and I admit it 100%. I want to play, not watch FPS counters and mess with everything else because there's always something that needs tweaking. Not to mention PC parts and the need to feel obligated to upgrade often. I'm so tired of PC gaming. I just want to sit down in my comfy chair and play games with a single button to get going. Thanks for your dedication and effort to make these great videos. I really appreciate them, Pro. My wife and I were both PC players for years. We recently switched completely to the PS5 because we got tired of chasing the next best graphics card. We only ever had a mid-tier graphics card anyway, since we had to buy everything in pairs every time we upgraded. Plus, we were exhausted from updating every program and game every time we wanted to play. And our kids, who are married and moved away, all have PlayStations, so it's easier to stay in touch and play with them, and we're much happier on console. I sold my monster PC just to get the PS5 Pro and save some money because I was so tired of playing Developer Edition Simulator instead of actually playing games and enjoying them. The last game that pushed me over the edge was the stuttery mess of Silent Hill 2 Remake on PC. I bought it and spent almost an entire Saturday trying to fix it, with no success. Meanwhile, even if the PS5 version has a lower resolution, it doesn't have these issues. That's where the PS5 Pro comes in, offering higher resolution than the PS5. With PC, if a game doesn't work properly, there are endless possibilities of things going wrong because of hardware variations. On console, it's just a matter of a few updates, and most games run better because they're optimized for that specific hardware. But when I was looking for advice on getting a PS5 Pro, all I heard was, dude, PC is way better. Buy a PC. Or, you can do so much more than just game on PC. And my favorite, PC always runs without any issues, just plug and play. So many things can go wrong on a PC. A Windows update could be bad, AMD or Nvidia could release broken drivers, shader compilation could go wrong, or a game could be a poor port. But according to them, I must not know how to install drivers in my long PC career. Now I'm waiting for my PS5 Pro to arrive on the 7th of November, and I will never look back at PC gaming again. I love these stories, man. They're so relatable. Younger players don't understand that a lot of console gamers used to be hardcore PC gaming enthusiasts, including myself. I used to watch the FPS counter in the corner of my monitor more than I enjoyed the game. Sometimes people forget that less is more. We don't remember if a game had ray-traced reflections in the water or screen space reflections, or whether we played it in 200 FPS or 60 FPS. We remember the experience of the game. I've built 3 gaming PCs in my life. These PC enthusiasts think console gamers are clueless. So, what can we take away from all of this? It's clear the gaming community has a lot of passion and a ton of diverse perspectives, whether it's about new hardware, game performance, or the future of gaming as a whole. We're all here because we love gaming, and it's fascinating to see how we each approach it differently. It reminds us that while tech specs and patches are important, what really matters is our shared experience and the memories we make. If you want to be ahead of all the gaming leaks and news, specifically PlayStation news, time for you to subscribe. And as always, a like on the video is very much appreciated.